Hey guys, I'm Angel, welcome back to the channel, and today we're taking a look at a racing plane. This just released on FlightSim.to and is a payware product released by the group Got Friends. Got might sound similar because, well, it's got relation to the... how many times can I say got? Well, it's a couple of guys working together. It's 270 Inc., Got Gravel, the guys that do the bush planes, and Junks. These three former military personnel got together, good group of friends, and they created this. This is the GeeBee R3, which is a concept modern aerobatic racing aircraft, and it never actually got from paper to the real world. Now, it does exist as a very popular remote control aircraft, or should we say a concept of a modern GeeBee. Now, the old GeeBee with the big radial, gorgeous, gorgeous aircraft, and I think this truly encapsulates that 1920s, 30s look of speed. It's got that very 50s hot rod style to it. In fact, no, the GeeBee was the 50s, wasn't it? Yes. But it has that beautiful look of speed and style and that gasser racer look to it. So I love the look of this thing. Now, it has a AEIO 580 Lycoming engine with 315 horsepower to a 3-blade constant speed 2700 RPM propeller. This should go very quickly. Let's take a look. Now, as you can tell here, it's a little bit dark, so let's fix that. I never get around to actually setting my sim to the right time whenever I'm reviewing a product. Come on, let's go. Not that time of day, thank you. Okay, so cockpit first. This is stunning. And by the way, this is £13, so about $15 maybe. Good visual dash. Lots of view around the aircraft. Got throttle here, got a stick. I should turn on cockpit tooltips, but I haven't, so we'll just work it out. I'm assuming that's our parking brake. We should be good. So we've got fuel tanks down here. So let's put that to center before we start. Let's go outside and take a look. Beautiful clean lines. These are speed brakes here, which will fold out. I chose the Golf livery because one of my favourite racing liveries that exists. The aircraft is simple but effective, and it's very big if you look at the size of the pilot. Yeah, that's the pilot size. So this is a huge aircraft, all built around its engine. You're basically sat in the tail. I actually really like the look of this thing. Let's take it for a run. Right, so batteries are on. Now, being a simple Lycoming engine, modern systems, this should be a simple matter of... Got some fuel pumps on, we've got the fuel tank selected. Okay, we are good to go. Engine purrs to life, nicely done. Systems all engaged here. Fuel pumps are off. Now, instrumentation is pretty simple. We've got a good, decent, high range airspeed indicator, which gives us a lot of room there. Interesting, nice, simple designations of our meters. Very visible, easy to read, which is good for speed. GPS functionality is as one would expect. Gives us everything we'll need from that. Obviously not a lot. Now this does work with the GTN 750 as well, so if you want to use that, you can indeed do just that. Much less fluff. Let's go for a fly. Question is, can I open the canopy? I don't see a hatch anywhere. Or a handle. Does it say anything in the manual for me? Now this is VR ready, by the way. That is something we can actually work with, which is useful for this aircraft. And we need to remember that our speeds of stall speed is 180 is its best actual flying speed. Okay, come across the threshold 80, that's fine. I don't see anything in here about special features. The speed brakes are at the front there. How do I deploy those? Let's work this out. Now we have got coloured smoke, that's what these are for. So you can deploy coloured smoke from the aircraft. Does our spoiler keybind function? It does not, because it's being flight sim. Looking through here. Now, they do recommend we have a spoiler axis. This here is a NOS system. Oh boy, I will touch that in the sky. Because, yeah. Oh, that's toggle water rudder. Excellent. So I'm going to go blasting somewhere once we do this. Those are our smoke deployments. Okay. What else do we have here to worry about? No, looks good here. So let's take this bad boy up. Oh, that engine sounds crispy. Very crispy. Ooh, I can already feel like I'm driving a Formula 1 car here. This thing is gonna be interesting. I have never touched this aircraft, just for reference. This is my first time flying, and I've had one sip of my morning cup of tea. So you'll forgive me. A little bit sloppier review than normal. You're very close to the ground when taxiing here because you're so far back in this aircraft. Feels like you're almost flying in third person. Okay. Now, we do not have flaps, which is fair enough, but we have got large control surfaces. Looking good. Let's take this bad boy out for a fly, shall we? And I'm going to take off at very reduced power because I am scared. Ooh. Oh god, that gets excited quickly. Hello. Yeah, stay on the runway for me. This is... I'm overcompensating. It's actually surprisingly tame. I'm just overcompensating because I'm expecting worse. Yep, I'm sashaying down the runway because I'm jabbing at the rudder pedals, expecting this thing to try and kill me. And it's not doing. Oh, there goes the power. There goes the power. Okay, I took off at about quarter throttle there, and I was all over the runway. I caused myself an oscillation because I was so obsessed with this thing about to bite and kill me, and it did not. So, actually very gentle on takeoff. It flies relatively well. Not bad at all. Let's see what that nitrous can do, shall we? Oh, hello. Yep, we're going somewhere in a hurry. We are going somewhere in a hurry. We're still going somewhere. We are still going somewhere. Oh my god, the zoom climb on this. Oh. Oh, there we go. Nicely recovered. Let's keep the speed back down. I need the spoilers. I don't know where I have those mapped, but, well, that's the thing. And what was that? That was our, we are very much overspeeding right now. Let's bleed some of this off by going wee. Probably hitting the overspeed here a tiny touch, but we're going to try and avoid that one. Aircraft is incredibly responsive, incredibly agile. Let's get down to the deck here and do some actual pylon style flying. Not that we have any pylons to really fly in this thing, but we're going to try our best. We'll do the Orcus Derby. That sounds like a good plan. There's a hilltop we can use. Let's drop down into the circuit. We'll call this a rally instead. Actually, we'll hit the coastline here. We'll zip around. This is a blast to fly. I've gone from being half asleep, one sip of tea, screwing around with the start of this video, to be wide awake and feeling like Jeremy Clarkson. Power! This thing is crazy. Okay, we're overspeeding there. Let's knock this down. Yeah, why not? Oh, hi, Lake. This thing is nutso. I love it. Oh my god, this thing is ridiculously powerful. I am in love with this aircraft. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this is a ton of fun. Ton of fun. If you want a plane that you can just enjoy, that is a wild, untamed stallion. Like, this is Bill and Ted levels of untamed wild stallion. Like, this is crazy. This is just... Oh yeah. It looks good in the cockpit. It's not got a ton of fluff with it, but it's cheap. And it is an absolute blast. This would be great for the Grand Canyon run. This would be great for when the air racing comes into Flight Sim with what they've talked about at Gamescom. Oh god, this thing is insanity. Alright, let's fly ourselves a pattern, bring this baby in, and touch down for landing. Oh, the visibility is phenomenal. So just even for a sightseeing plane that can go quickly, this thing is a blast. Because you can do 180 knots for cruise, which is nice and quick. It is stable, it's responsive. I will say the takeoff was my fault. I was expecting more bite than it gave me. But the aircraft at lower power, it didn't have the same weird snap at about 40 knots that a lot of tail draggers have. I've noticed in Flight Sim 2020, a lot of high power tail draggers have a weird snap at about 40 knots, no matter what throttle setting you're at, even if it's low throttle. As soon as you hit about 40 knots, it goes, torque, and kicks you to one side and becomes stupid. This doesn't do that. This is actually very well behaved. Now, I took off at about a quarter throttle there, because I was very timid, but I suspect it could handle more. Okay, so let's get our speed down. We want to be coming across the threshold at 80 knots, and being a racing plane, it is very slippery. There we go. Let's bring this baby down. We're a little quick right now. Let's try and throw off some speed here. And we have. Still very quick though. Come on. Burn some speed for me. Come on, that's it. Landing this should be interesting because the nose is quite high. I say quite high, I mean incredibly high. So I'm almost kind of bringing it on a curved final like a Spitfire here. Oh, we're floating horribly. That's entirely me. Okay, wheels are down. No, I'm not making this landing. Apply full power and rock and roll. That was entirely on me. I was way too quick on the landing. We'll bring it around a second time, see what we can do. Fly the correct side of the circuit this time here at Orcas Island. We'll try and keep our speed down overall. Now, this thing is a beast, and it is incredibly rapid. I think I need to work out what those speed brakes are, because that is something I could have done with, or if I have a manual deployment for them. I don't see a manual deployment. That's our throttle there. Sorry. Is our pitch even, or RPM? I don't see the deployment in the cockpit for those. What's the smoke look like? Actually, not terrible. It's not as bad as the smoke in default sim, so that's not awful. Right, our speed is really low here, so we need to try and keep some power on, so we actually do have a responsive aircraft. Should have worked out what the spoilers are before we flew, but, you know, needs must. This is not even an accurate circuit, but we'll whip around here. But this thing is so responsive being a racing plane, you could fly the tightest circuit you could imagine in this aircraft, and it will do it. It just goes where you want it to. It's like driving a go-kart in the sky. And I'm building speed again here, so this is a problem. Well, I'm going to force ourselves to commit now. That's the fence. Ooh, Nelly. Nearly nosedived there. That's a bad idea. Okay, speed's coming down now. Manage this. There we go. Without having the spoilers, I'm very limited on my actual deceleration. With this aircraft being so slippery, I was really hobbled there with actually not having access to my spoilers. I should have had those mapped beforehand. I did not, and that was entirely me. Again, I'm going to clarify, this is my first time flying this plane, and it is a handful. But in a really good way. If you're going to fly it, definitely have the spoilers mapped, because you need those. To slow down, you will need those. Being a racer, it is super slippery, and it does want to bite in terms of you will not slow down, you will bounce, you will need lots of runway, but with the spoilers, you should be good. Its aerial handling is beautiful. Takeoff is not as bad as I thought it would be. I was expecting worse, now I was preparing for worse, and it caused me to sashay down the runway, not the aircraft, so... And being a very high power engine, this thing's wanting to roll from standard, so there's never really a quiet setting. Very much an aircraft that's only parked when it's in the hangar and you're in the bar. But overall, this is really enjoyable. For a sightseeing plane, you have so much visibility and aerobatic capability. It can cut through corners like a knife through butter. It is just so lovely. What are the sounds like on the outside? We'll taxi back to the apron first. We'll not sit out here. But it sounds so powerful. It really does. Right, let's stop her here. Let's go outside and listen. Oh, there goes the tail. Hold the controls back. That was full brakes held, by the way. This thing is powerful. I love the whistling. You can hear. Can you hear that? That whistling. Oh. This has some 50s sci-fi fighter, airship, steampunk world vibe. Feels like a cafe racer from the 50s, a motorbike, or an old Chevy Bel Air. Gasser. Oh, yeah. This has some real vibes to it. I love this thing. It's cheap. I highly recommend. I really like this thing. I made a sloppy mess of this, so I apologize to the developers if you watch this. I could barely fly this thing for the test flight, but I've had one sip of tea. I'm now wide awake, and I feel like I could read War and Peace in one sitting. This was fun. Thank you for watching. Bye.